Robin.
Oh man, yeah, we're back, of course. Don't worry about it.
Let's see.
Dean Norris, of course. Hank from Breaking Bad in here. We were talking. They would have been complete spoilers if we said it on the air. So
you weren't recording any of that, right?
Nothing.
Oh!
Wait, he gave away stuff?
Well, from the first episode that's coming up. When does it air?
August 11th.
11th.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's going to be one of the most watched shows, I think, ever.
It's going to be crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Everyone I've talked to is just like, oh, man, Breaking Bad, I got to see you. I've got to wait. Nothing's worse than when they cut those seasons in half and you're like, all right, here's 11 months. Sit on it. Have fun, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You pricks.
Yeah.
So, and I watched the first episode, and people were just livid with me.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. And then, of course, why don't you put that up on Pirate Bay? Or something. I'm like, and I'll never get one again, so blow me.
But there were moments, because I saw it for the first time last night, and there are moments. It's great watching it with a big crowd, and there are literally moments in that show where people go,
yeah,
right, and or you hear like
the reactions from people are amazingly visceral. And at the very beginning of it, and not giving anything away, but the way they just start the show and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was all. It's a great teaser.
It really is a great teaser.
Yeah.
And, again, not spoiling anything, but the neighbor.
Awesome. And then they come back to that line.
Yes. It's fantastic.
There's a lot of inside talk here.
Oh, well, you know what?
It's very vague.
I think they'll have to watch.
Then they'll
11th.
re-listen to this interview and get what we're talking about.
He was talking about
I know what I want to ask.
That scene.
What did you went to Harvard. What did you go to Harvard for?
Because I got in.
Let me rephrase that.
Yes.
Not why did you go to Harvard, but what was your measure?
It's called a concentration in Harvard. Hate to be that guy, but it was called social studies. It was like economics, history, philosophy, and politics, all kind of wrapped into one. And it was great.
And you did well?
I did, yeah. I was an honors. I was an honor guy. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you went. Why did you do acting? But did your family go like you probably shouldn't be acting if you graduated with honors from Harvard?
All seriousness, I was the first guy to go to college at all from my family. Both my parents didn't go to college, and we came from kind of a lower middle class to lower middle class. So. One would think I had the pressure to go into investment banking or be an attorney or something like that, but my parents were cool as all get out, and they were happier in a way that I went in to do something that I wanted to do. So I had complete support of my parents. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Great. Yeah.
Were you acting in college, or did you start
Yeah, I did a lot of acting in college. It was all extracurricular because they didn't have really any, there wasn't like an acting program or anything like that at Harvard. But I got to work with some really interesting people, like Amy Brenneman was in my year. The directors, like R.J. Cutler and Bill Rausch, who work today in the business, very successful. And I learned the craft. I would do maybe 3 semesters, so 6 a year in terms of plays there, and then learned a lot. The American Repertory Theater was there, and got to work with them a little bit as well.
What got you into acting at all? Like, what?
I'm a failed musician. I would like to have been a rock band.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't quite work out. So I was like,
I'm in that boat. Yeah, that's how I ended up here.
We're the guys buying guitars at Guitar Center now. We're like hey man, can I buy a new Strat because I can afford it now?
I can afford to buy this shit, but
it sounds really good in my garage.
That's hilarious, man.
I got a band together actually maybe, 10 years ago with exactly that, like some neighbors,
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, let's do a band, man. So we get out of the house on Saturday night.
It's still fun,
That's awesome, man.
Fuck around. My brother, he plays out all the time and shit, and, if he's ever like, yeah, I'm doing a gig over here, why don't you come on by and sing some stuff.
That's awesome.
It's always been a lot of fun to do, but when you realize the odds of making it are forget about it.
You're right.
So you obviously like performing.
Yeah, and I mean, my dad was had a band all his life, and that's how we made half his money. But local kind of band, weddings and bars and things like that. And so I would play in the band with him sometimes. And so it was always and he came from a dad who he didn't know very well, but was also a musician.
Wow.
So it was like rock and roll, kind of musicians. And then so it was, in a way, it was kind of cool that I made it at least in the entertainment industry, even though it wasn't music, because it was a long tradition of people who kind of wished
didn't want a real job. Yes, pretty much it. I understand that completely,
exactly.
man.
Did not want to grow up.
Exactly. Where did you grow up?
South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend.
South
wow.
Bend,
Okay. So what was there to do around there as a kid?
Drink beer.
Drink. Yeah. Blue collar kind of.
Exactly. Very blue collar.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a great place to grow up. I love South Bend. I go back there for Notre Dame games at least once a year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I still have a sister who's there. So
did you have some real shitty kind of regular jobs growing up at all? Or?
Well, it was like I washed dishes at 14.
Yeah. Oh man, I was at the El Adobe restaurant in San Juan Capistrano, California, washing dishes at 13.
Yeah, I washed dishes, hot back there, and and I worked at. And then when I got to be an adult, I started doing waiting jobs when I was in college.
Yeah.
As a waiter in the summer.
Oh, a waiter/actor. That's
waiter
something
you never hear that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh, literal Jimmy.
It was actually when I got my first gig in LA. It was relatively soon within 5 months, and I was waiting tables. And my agent calls and says, "Hey, you got Lethal Weapon 2?" I'm like, "Oh, what does that mean? What the fuck that means? Well, here's what it means. It means X amount of times per week."
Here's what it means.
I was like, "What?" It was basically 5 times per week what I was making. I said, "Are you sure?" I said, he said, "Yeah, guaranteed." So I took my little waiter thing off. Said, "Hey, this hamburger goes to this table. That guy gets the steak. See you later."
I'm out of here. Yep.
Who were you in Lethal Weapon 2? That was a great one.
I was the guy that most people remember it because I'm the guy we're playing poker and I go turn on the stereo and we get blown up.
Oh yeah.
But if you look back, we're in the whole we're on the whole beginning of it. We're chasing people with Mel Gibson and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, this was the day when that movie last 18 weeks. I remember this because it was a really important number.
Sure.
18 weeks I worked on that show, and I still get paid today because everyone watches Lethal. They show it again and again.
And you still get some checks for that.
Oh man, seriously,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
God damn, that must have been pretty good though. Finally getting a job, being able to walk away from waiting tables.
Yeah, especially because the job that paid you enough that you didn't have to, and then the residuals start coming in. And then I did Hard to Kill right after that with, and then I did Total Recall. So I was like, oh, okay, this is all right. Acting's easy.
I'm in. I'm in the door.
What's everyone complaining about? Lost? I did one episode of Lost, almost a cameo. I did 2 scenes in it. Yeah.
Oh, who did you play in Lost?
I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah.
Some guy who'd lost his son or something, and some guy on Lost was able to try to, I don't know, I was going to see if he can connect me with him in the afterworld or some shit like that. I don't know.
One of those Lost fucking storylines.
Yeah, I just did it because it was a classic show. I think I was already on Breaking Bad, and I was I just wanted to be on it because it's a classic show.
Yeah.
So. Actually, the director was a guy named Jack Bender, who is the executive producer and director on Under the Dome now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In fact, these are his. I'm wearing his shoes right now.
Why? What the fuck?
Yeah. You see those shoes?
Yeah. I see there's paint on them.
Painted because he's a painter, and so he'd always wear them. He's a real legit painter,
right?
So he'd always wear them, and he has a kind of scarves and shit. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. So we got drunk one night, and I literally fucking took him like this, and I ripped his shoes off. And I have them to this day.
And you wear them.
Shoes?
I wear them, yeah. I took his shoes right off his feet.
It's amazing they fit. I can't go to a sneaker store and buy fucking comfortable shoes.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. I would have worn them anyway if they didn't fit, but they happened to fit, and he kind of struggled, kind of drunkenly went home barefoot. I gave him my shoes.
Did you get to meet Stephen King at all? And, talk to him?
Man,
how's that?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What a great guy he is, and he's a really really down to earth and funny and a really good guy.
Yeah. it goes Under the Dome. That's his
based on
baby.
his book. Yeah. Although we're deviating from his book, but he's cool about that, and he's down with that. So.
I started the book, but I didn't finish. Like, it was great when I got through. I'm just such a bad reader now, but it was fucking excellent when I was.
Because you're trying to read like 3-4 books at a clip,
and I get none done, and then I just surf pornography. Every time I try to stop jerking off, I'm like, I'm going to start fucking reading.
Keep your hands above the table. Right?
Right.
These computers don't work.
Are you? Do you pay attention to any critics on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else online?
I used to, like when Breaking Bad first started, because
how am I doing?
Yeah, how am I doing? And it just got so much. Just you can't. If you start, I think in immortal words of either Beyonce or Rihanna, somebody's never scroll down.
There you go.
Never scroll down, because
there's always something waiting for you.
There's always some dickhead who's sitting there jerking off in his fucking basement. Fucking Norris sucks. Fuck you fuck. In fact, I'm sitting here right now to anybody who says shit to me on fucking fuck
great.
you.
Fuck you.
The scroll down's classic. You're so right. Because you get a few, you're like, I think I'm going to scroll a little more. And you always scroll too far. Always.
I'm the best actor in the world.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right. It always gets to the...
And it negates all the good shit you just read.
That's what Vince says. He says he can read like 99 great things, but he'll only remember the one bad one.
Shitty one.
The one shitty one.
Asshole.
And you know what this asshole is, just some douchebag who's making shit up.
We would talk about this like so many times, whereas like years ago, could you imagine if somebody had to sit down and write a letter? Hey, Clark Gable, you suck.
Yeah.
It had to go in the mail, fucking stamp mail, and then it had to go through 15 levels of people.
Right.
If it ever got to them, it would be a miracle.
Right.
And now it's like any douchebag can just be like, you suck.
Clark sucks.
Yeah, great.
They're writing that right now. Somewhere. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, you bastards. What a piss. Well, it's been great to hang out and talk to you, man. You're obviously one of my favorite shows that I watch, and just a great character. And if people, they just don't know what they're in store for. When I saw just that first episode, it sets up for an amazing conclusion of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, every one of these 8 is as impactful as the one you saw.
Right.
It really is.
I can't wait.
The one after another is like, Are
there people that are real close to you that you go, all right, here's what happens? Is there one person that you've told?
No.
Come on.
I swear.
That'd be tough.
That's crazy.
That'd be almost impossible.
Not one. Not even my wife. My wife didn't read the scripts this year either. So
does she know not to ask? At this point, it's like a CIA agent.
She doesn't want to ask. She wants to watch it too, like everybody
That's true
else,
too. I want to know, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
The perfect thing would be if I got every episode right now, and just watched it myself and gloated about it.
Right. You get people that say like, "Hey man, how does it end?" And then literally like a split second later, they go, "No, I'm just kidding. Don't tell me."
Yeah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah.
So no one really wants to know, and I understand because it's a real joy to watch it unfold.
It is. It's one of the most anticipated conclusions of a series ever. I think.
And the great thing about it is I think we get to go out going, we ended it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Or satisfactorily,
I was saying yesterday this show could have gone for a few more years easily without even getting old.
Right.
But to wrap it up in 5 seasons with the amazing writing, amazing characters, and just an amazing story arc, you can't lose.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
it's awesome, actually. Yeah.
And you're on Under the Dome. When is that on?
That's it's on Monday nights at 10. We're on our 6th episode already, and that's just it's a crazy show. It's international. We're the #1 show ever in China, U.S. show.
Really?
Yeah, we're like in 200 countries. It's amazing, man.
It's an insane concept.
It's an insane concept, but it's like the highest rated show. I think there's only one show higher in like all of network TV. It's crazy. I swear to, I mean, in terms of scripted, I don't know what these reality shows are, but in terms of scripted,
definitely.
So it's like and it's great. It's obviously awesome to be on Breaking Bad and the greatness of it and all. But, Hollywood, man, you know what they fucking respect? Numbers, motherfucker. Seriously. Like, you hang out in Hollywood and Breaking Bad, they go, oh, we love your show. It's such a great show. Really it is.
Critically acclaimed.
Yeah. Now you're like, fuck you, I got fucking 3-3 in the demo, bitch.
I love it, Dean. Thanks so much for coming in, man. You're amazing. I love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.